Hey, this is RJ Marin, RJ the Rock Marin. Hey, let's get it going. Today I want to talk about consistency. Now, what is consistency? Now, are we consistent at the wrong things or the right things? Because yeah, you can be consistent, but you're consistently going and putting the wrong things in your body, consistently watching the wrong things, consistently on your phone. Yeah, you're super consistent. And the father, like, consistency is the father of success. It is when you're doing it in the right things. Are you consistent with waking up at the same time every day and doing these things before everybody else is awake? And pushing yourself, strength training, getting your steps in, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. That's where the consistency, that's where you separate yourself from the others, And that's just where it is. How are you going to get there? You got to have a program. You got to have a system. You got to have something that you are going to hold yourself accountable, because at the end of the day, nobody is holding anybody accountable but you. The person that you look in the mirror, the eyes that you're looking right back at you, that's going to motivate you and inspire you to do the things that you got to do to make it happen. So don't be consistent. If you're being consistent at the wrong things, you got to change it up, because that's the pattern. Because if you look back over the last 5 years of your life, you were probably consistent in doing the wrong things that's putting you in the position that you're in today. And I am a perfect example of this, because I was consistently putting myself in a situation that allowed myself to be tolerate what it was that I should have never tolerated in my life. And I did that. I was very, very good at that. Then I had a tragedy that happened in my life 4 years ago when I lost my brother, who was a year younger than me, who would be turning 48 this year. But because I decided not to let that take me down to another path that I've already overcome, because I've been sober before that happened, but I could have easily stepped my ass right back into that well, started drinking again, and saying, you know what? I'm gonna be consistent at doing this shit again. I'm gonna go back to doing this. No, I'm not doing that. I decided I'm gonna do the reverse. I'm gonna do something that's gonna put myself in uncomfortable situations and make them comfortable. So I decided to do this, something I would have never ever done in my entire life. And I did an ultra hiking event through the Franklin Mountains in El Paso, crossing over 12,000 feet of elevation over rocks just everywhere. And you're super dangerous in the dark. We started in the dark, finished in the dark, and it was just unbelievable out there. It was hot. I pretty much injured myself on the first 10 miles with some kind of pain that I never felt before in my entire life, but I decided I'm not gonna let that stop me, because that's no longer who I am, and there was no plan B. So I kept on going, and I kept on persevering, and that has been something that's carried and stayed with me ever since I put myself in that situation. Because we have something in our brains called myelin, and myelin is a skill builder. The more that you can tell yourself, and you can put yourself in those situations, the more that's going to increase. But you got to do it. You got to do it on a regular basis, because if you fall off, you got to learn to do it again. So you got to build that skill again. All the greats have it. All the greats have myelin. And Michael Jordan had it. Kobe Bryant had it. Everybody, the Brazilian soccer players have it. They dominate. So it's just, you got to do stuff consistently that's putting you in a situation that's uncomfortable, that's bringing out the best version of you, not the worst version of you. So that's what I did. And then after that, I did this program called 75 Hard, the mental toughness program, the #1 mental toughness transformation program on planet Earth. I did that shit, and I did that, and that just put me in a whole another stratosphere mentally, like where I was and what I was doing and what I was going to do next. Because it was not about climbing the mountain and being done, be like, oh yeah, I did that shit. No, I want to go back. I want to find another mountain to dominate. And that's the evolution. That's life. That's how we get better. We're always growing. Because if we're not growing, well, what are we doing? We're dying. We got to consistently be growing, put ourselves in different situations that's going to bring the best out of us, something different, something that's going to be a greater experience, so that, I mean, it's the imagination and creativity. Put yourself out there. We only live while you're here, because nobody's guaranteed anything in life. There is nothing out here that says you are guaranteed to live until you're 150 years old and you're not going to have any issues. It's not going to happen. So we want to continue, just do the things while you can do the things. Okay, that's it. And then from there, it was just like other things started to come to my awareness. IQ started to build, and I was like, okay, what else? What's next? Oh, okay, I'm in a relationship that's completely toxic and ruining my life, and just completely stressing me out. Cortisol levels are through the roof. I feel like I'm in this consistent purgatory cell. Like there's no way out. There's complete darkness. I can't see in front of me. But then all of a sudden I heard a whisper. And it says, if you can see the next step, take it. And that's what I started to do. I started to see the next step, and I started to take it, because I started to see the next step as the pattern of me being consistently putting myself in situations that did not bring out the best in me. That was not the right decision. That was the worst decision. And it took a catastrophic event to happen for me to finally say, I no longer want to put myself in this position or my kids. And that was it. I stopped. And I stuck the path. My motto is stick the path. This will pass. Because it will. And it was so hard. It was one of the hardest things. Because when you're used to that familiar, you will stay with it. Because you don't know what's on the other side of that unfamiliar. And that's what I did for such a long time. I just stayed with it until last year. So no longer. So anyways, all this to say, choose the right consistency, because that's what's going to get the job done. Don't choose the consistency that brings out the old version of you, the worst version of you, the version of you that's not going to go do anything that's uncomfortable. Do the things that are consistently going to put you in the uncomfortable situations that's going to bring out the best in you, okay? All right, so here we go. Break it down. Number one, so the Core 64 program will be, this is something that you do. You're going to build your mental resilience. You're going to build your cognitive functioning. You're going to do stuff that you've never done before in your entire life, because it's going to be a new consistency for you. And it's going to become a lifestyle habit, because once you do the 64 days straight, it will be with you. It's going to be Core 64 for life. Because you are going to do these habits that you were building, and they're going to just stick with you, because the mileage is going to increase, and you're going to like it, and you're going to want to do it more and more and more. And you're not going to have a plan B, because you're not going to go back to that plan B anymore. There is no going back. There is no going back. So first thing we're doing is we're choosing, I want you to eat as best as possible. And the one requirement here is eating as clean as you can do, okay? Clean as you can eat, but get your protein in. Get your protein in. High quality protein is preferred, and do it for the weight that you want to be. So if you want to be 200 pounds, if you want to be 150 pounds, 120 pounds, then that's how much protein that we're looking for you to intake on a daily basis. And then also, we need to cut out alcohol during this process. It's just 64 days. There's 365 days in a year. You can do it. You can do it. Just stop. 64 days, no alcohol. Decrease your sugar intake, and increase your protein intake. That's number one, non-negotiable. Number two, non-negotiable, is you're going to get your steps, 10,000 steps a day, and then you're also going to get your plank 30 seconds a day on a plank. 30 seconds a day on a plank. Now, my ebook has the enhancements to the Core 64, which calls for you to do, if you can do 2 workouts a day, 32 minutes each, and your 10,000 steps and your plank. But if you're not at that level yet, then start with your 10,000 steps, because 10,000 steps over Over time, if you do this, cut it up in chunks and chunks and chunks and chunks. Let's say you do this for an entire year. That'd be like running 70 marathons. So cut it down into chunks because, well, what do? We rest at the end, not in the middle. Okay, that's the late great Kobe Bryant says that. Then that's the truth. We don't rest in the middle. So you want to be invested in the process, and the best investment you can make in your entire life is the investment in you. Invest in you. So that's non-negotiable. Number 2 is get your 10,000 steps. Do your 30 seconds of planking for the first week. Increase it to a minute the next week, and then on week 3 you're going to be at a minute 30. Just keep going. 30 seconds increase every single day. That's going to build your core strength and your brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That's going to tell your brain that we do hard shit now, and you're just going to continue to do that. Okay, do it, and do it. The third thing that we do is we're going to read a book on philosophy, read a book on an autobiography, model the road. People have put tons of knowledge, 20 years of knowledge into these books for you to read, and then you take it and you read it and you apply it into your life. Now, there's one hack that you could do while you're reading is you get the audible book of that and let the author narrate that to you. And while you're reading, put it on a 1.5, 1 3/4 speed. Listen to it as you're reading the book, and that will help you to have retainability. Okay, so get your 12 pages in per day, every single day, get your reading done. And then the fourth thing is make sure you get your water intake. Water is so important. 70% of our body is made up of water. Our brain is 80% water. All of our cells are made up of water. We have to put ourselves in the best position possible. And optimizing that is make sure you get the water intake. Yeah, you're going to have to go to the bathroom, but you're going to have to make time for that. That's an inconvenience. That's an uncomfortability. And that's something that we're going to have to just be comfortable in that uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable. Okay? All right. And then, so for women, 71 ounces. For a man, we're going to be drinking 100 ounces a day, right? Women, we're going to get 20% of our water intake just from the foods that we're eating. So that's why we only need to do 71 for a woman and then 100 for a man, right? And then so the fourth thing that we're going to do is journaling. We got to journal. You want to journal. Journaling helped me out so much. It's like when you get at nighttime especially, and you get to write your thoughts on your lessons learned journaling. Like, what lessons did I learn for today? What am I going to do tomorrow? And then this is where you write out your execution list for the next day. Not a like a honey-do list. This is like, that's ancillary. Like that, those are the things that you gotta have to do no matter what. But like a list that you're like non-negotiable execution list, the things that you need to get done that's going to move that needle, a power list. Like those are the three big things that you gotta get done. And you get those things done because those are the needle moving things, and those are going to be the win the day type of activities that we got to get done. So when you put your head on the pillow at nighttime, you're going to rest and you're going to feel great because you have dominated the day. And then that brings you to sleep. 7 to 9 hours. We got to really be focusing on the sleep that we're getting per day, and we got to get that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Focus on getting your rapid eye movement sleep, and then also your deep sleep if you can get it. And then just get one of those. You can get an Oura Ring or your Apple Watch or your phone. Track your sleep and see how you're sleeping for the day. And then you got to measure that. You got to measure that because that's going to bring out the best in you as well. And that's where we get our recovery, and that's where we get juiced up and ready to go for the next day. So to recap, we got. Number one non-negotiable is you are eating as clean as possible. Protein intake to 150. You want 150 pounds. I want 150 grams of protein per day, and reducing your sugars as low as possible. And then also no alcohol for the number one non-negotiable. Number two non-negotiable is 10,000 steps a day, which will be 5 miles a day. And then also do your 30 seconds of planking that you're going to increase by 30 seconds each day. And then on the third one, you're reading a book on philosophy, autobiography, personal development, something that's going to help you to become the better version of you. And then you're going to apply it because you're going to understand it, and you're going to retain it, and you're going to take notes, you're going to highlight. You're going to do active reading while you do this. 12 pages a day. Number 4, your water intake, 71 ounces for a woman, and it's 100 ounces for a man. And number 5 is your journaling, and that's, you do, preferably you can do the journaling twice a day. You can do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, but just make sure you're getting your journaling and you're going over your lessons learned for the day and how you're going to get better, because the mentality here is you're 1% better than you were yesterday by doing 10% more today. And then finally, the last thing that we're doing is you're focusing on your sleep, and you're getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep so you can be optimal, and you can be that version of you that that people around you that love you, that they deserve to have in their lives. Because again, we want to be the best that we can, not just for ourselves, but for the people who are close to us and love us, because they deserve that. Because guess what you're going to do? You're going to be a ripple effect of inspiration that's going to lift them up as well. And we do this in synchronicity, and we're all going to just continue to move and get better, because that's the whole process here. That's it. All right. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Be inspired to inspire others always. Stick the path. This will pass. All right. That's it.